Yo, what is up, guys? It's Pedro here. In today's video, or I guess stream, I will be previewing the Washington Commanders versus the New York Giants. Week 13 matchup should be a good one. Sorry if the camera is a little bit weird today. And I should have Juan coming on later in the stream, so should be a good one. Absolutely huge game for the Washington Commanders this week. If they win these next two games, which is going to be tough, but if they do, they have a pretty much 85-90% chance of making the playoffs. So these two games are absolutely huge. They have to at least win one of those. More likely than not, though, they're going to have to win both games. So actually, no, they can still make the playoffs with only winning one of the games, but if they win both, they're pretty much in. What's up, Door Gunner? What's up, Stefan? What's up, DeAndre? What's up, Sean? What's up, Bring It 316? Left hand up. Hopefully doing that tomorrow. And he said if we win these two games, we are it's like not guaranteed, but it's like an 85% chance that we're in. So let's hope it happens. Let's hope it happens so we don't really have to stress for the last few weeks this season because those games are going to be tough. 49ers, not the Rams, the Browns and the Cowboys. Maybe the Cowboys could be a game where they're resting a lot of their starters, depending on if they have anything to play for, because if the Eagles or the Vikings, if they clinch the first seed, the Cowboys really won't have anything to play for besides pride and knocking us out. That's really the only thing they'll be playing for. What's up, King Sean? Appreciate you coming through. Same thing with Sean White, but yeah, huge game. So we're gonna be talking about keys to victory, some injury news, and then we'll get into some stat predictions, score predictions, and then just random stuff. We'll start off though before Juan comes on some injury updates. So Cole Holcomb obviously still on IR. He's not going to be playing this game or the next Giants game, and I think he won't be back till week 17. So maybe he could play the last two games of the year. Benjamin St. Juste out, Dax Milne out, and so is I'm trying to think. There's three guys. Trey Turner. Trey Turner is out too, and Chase Young not officially out, but pretty much they said it's unlikely he plays. I'm just so done with this situation, and it's nothing against Chase Young because he's not the one who decides if he plays or not. But I don't like how it's been like how this injury's kind of been reported, and the reporting on this haven't liked it, and even some of the way the coaches have kind of phrased things. Like the last 4 weeks, basically every game, it's like, oh, Chase Young is honestly the last 4 to 5 weeks, it's like, oh, Chase Young is very, very close to coming back, and then he doesn't come back that week, and then they do the same thing. They do the same thing the next week and say, oh, Chase Young, like Adam Schefter said, oh, Chase Young will be making his debut against the Houston Texans. And that doesn't happen, obviously. Doesn't even play the next week or this week. So it's just frustrating. Like, I don't know also why they could have waited until way longer to activate him off of pup. They could have waited. They could have waited until maybe now and give him 3 weeks to practice, but they did it so early. And now, it's not a huge deal, but he's taking up a roster spot right now. He's taking up a roster spot because of how they kind of mismanage the situation. I don't like how this situation has been, or this injury's been reported on, and just in general, like I don't know. I wish he was back there, but at this point, he's only going to be able to play in 4 games. If he's not back after the bye, I don't really know if you even need to play him for the rest of the year. It just it's been over a year since the injury, and I know it's not a normal ACL injury. He also tore the patellar tendon as well, but still, it's frustrating for sure. So let's read some of the comments. Uh, might need Sly to leg us through this one. Yeah, I could see a bunch of field goals in this game. I'm okay with keeping him out for the Giants game in suspense and preparing for Young. Or let me read again. I'm okay with keeping the Giants in suspense and preparing for Young and him not playing. Let's go get in their heads a little bit. Yeah, I can see that, but I still would love to see him out there. Yeah, James. Some people definitely think he should be shut down. I don't know. The only reason I think that he should play is because even if it's limited, if you get him some snaps at the end of this year, he won't be nearly as rusty going into next year versus if he doesn't play this year at all, then it's going to be a year and like 8 months since he played if his first snaps are in his first snaps are against the or week 1 next year. I don't know. I think he's fine. I'm pretty sure he wants to play. Like he definitely feels like he's ready. I almost know that for a fact, just because of the reporting has been so weird. Where like, okay, someone has to be feeding these reporters this information. Someone does. Someone. And what's up, K. Oadic? I know. Yeah. Butchering the name. I know there's some other meaning behind that. Do you know who's leading the NFC in yak? I mean, I don't know, maybe Terry. I mean, hopefully, but that's my guess. But the reporting is basically like he missed the Eagles game, and then Adam Schefter tweets out he will miss the Eagles game, but he will be making his debut next week against the Houston Texans. I guarantee you, Rivera did not text or tell Adam Schefter that, oh, you know, Chase Young's coming back this week. I guarantee you he did not do that. But these reporters, and it's not just Adam Schefter, it's other guys as well. Yeah, it's not just Adam Schefter, Ian Rapport, other guys as well have been reporting on this injury, and they're getting fed this information. I think it's from probably not Chase Young himself, but his agent. They're kind of frustrated that they're not playing him, and they're kind of telling him, okay, he's healthy and he's going to play this week, and then it's I don't know. It is what it is. At this point, it's week 13, and obviously we have the bye week, so he's going to be out for week 14, and then back week 15 is the earliest. Stefan says, what's the percentage of likeliness that Chase Young plays? I would probably say 10%. I mean, he was questionable, and then now they're saying it's unlikely he plays. So, I mean, I would say 10% at the max that he plays, unless something crazy happens. During the workout and he feels so much better, then yeah, it is what it is. I wish he was playing because he would help this defense. I think. Who knows? Maybe he would just play like he was last year and not be disciplined enough. But I don't know. I feel like he sat on the sidelines for enough time where he knows the mistakes he was making by not playing disciplined football last year. So yeah, it is. Yeah, it is what it is. But really wish he could be back there because we invested a second round pick in this guy. Second round pick. And yeah, he's missed what, 20 games? I mean, I'm trying to think. Missed like 9 games last year. He missed like 8 or 9 games last year. And then so far has missed 12 games. So gonna miss 13. So it is what it is. And I got my guy Juan Gotti on the channel once again. Of course, make sure you guys check him out. His channel, if you click on the title of the video, it says you can just click on the link or on Juan's name, and it'll take you to his channel on the road to 5K. Let's get him there soon. And I think we will be on Rio's channel tomorrow for a pregame stream. So make sure you guys check us out there. How you doing, Juan?
I'm good. I appreciate you for having me on as always, man. It's great to be back. Chance to go 8-5 tomorrow. Big game. Super nervous about it. Again, Chase Young not playing more likely than not. I saw your tweet like an hour ago, and I couldn't do nothing but echo it because it's like every start of the week, Ron Rivera or somebody in the media, whether it's Adam Schefter, comes out and say, yeah, Chase Young has a good chance to play, blah, blah, blah. Then you get to this day, Saturday, yeah, it's a long shot. He won't play. Like, it's just like, don't speak on it until you know for sure he's going to play. Like, at this point, it's no point. Like, I'm not saying there's no point to play him, but it's just like, at this point, no one, I'm not going to say no one, but we're not even like, we're kind of starting to get sick of the Chase Young,
Yeah.
talk. So it's kind of like, we're starting to like look past him in a way. You know what I'm saying? I know it's hard to do that because he's the number 2 overall pick. You know what I'm saying? He's a fan favorite, but it's just like it's no point if we're not going to play him. And I'm starting to think it's really them because you remember Chase Young in his interview in the locker room, he was like, "Yeah," they were like, "Oh, so yeah, Chase, is it up to you or if that you want to play?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, it's up to me." And I really think, excuse me, I really think he wants to play, but it's just something holding him back, and I'm starting to get sick of it, man. I'm already sick of it. So I'm to the point where it's just like I still make videos on it because obviously that's what we have to do. We wire the people in the loop because it's such a big player. But I'm to the point where it's just like, hey man, I'm done with it at this point, really.
Yeah, for me, it's just ridiculous. It really gets on my nerves because, and it's not again because whenever I say this, people get like butthurt and say, "Oh, you're hating on Chase, blah blah blah." No, I am not. I'm not hating on Chase. I know the injury was serious. I know it takes a while, but every single week, it's like Juan said, like I said earlier, it's the same thing. Early in the week, there's optimism, and then at the end of the week, it's like, oh, Chase Young, like you said, isn't feeling, he's been progressing, but it's gonna wait until next week, and he'll likely make his debut. Like, come on, just keep it. Like, I wouldn't care if they told us, okay, it's gonna be another 4 weeks until Chase plays. Okay, at least I know it. But just like stretching it out and out and out is the worst possible way to do it. And yeah, shout out to Top of the Morning. Make sure you guys check that out Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you want to play that real quick?
Yeah, I mean, Top of the Morning Show, is a sports show that I, started because I want to be that morning radio show that you listen to on your way to work, at work, or in class, or whatever you're doing in the morning time. I want to be that radio show that you listen to. And it's been doing solid, man. Check me out. And of course, I want to obviously brand from just talking about the Commanders. I want to make it a full sports show, but obviously I know I got to start where most of my people are at, and that's NFC East NFL Commanders football, and it's been solid, and I hope to see people go over there so you can check it out. And once we get enough people, we'll start doing live call-in shows and allow people to voice their opinion on said topic. So again, we have Top of the Morning Show, morning sports show that goes live Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And if you don't catch it live, you can obviously catch it on the playback on YouTube, or it's also on podcasting platforms. Just type in Top of the Morning Show with Juan Gotti. So I appreciate you for allowing me to plug that. And yeah, I hope to see you guys check me out.
Yeah, for sure. I saw you were streaming the U.S. Netherlands game today. Unfortunately, didn't get the dub.
I started to stream a little bit of it, but like soon as I got on, they scored the first goal. I mean, countless chances that we've had. I mean, I could just go to that that side kick to the right corner. We had so many opportunities, and then it just felt like they gave up. I mean, the dude was wide open. Like he literally, if you saw it on the replay, he literally did this, and like we were just lackluster on defense. I mean, hats off to Team USA though. I mean, Turner, the goalkeeper, he tried. You know what I'm saying? Christian Pulisic. I mean, I like him a lot. I'm not saying act like I'm the biggest soccer fan, but I like him a lot. But today he had, especially like I said, that side kick, and where he kicked it up. It was, to me, it wasn't a good one to set anybody up for a possible goal. And then good.
No, sorry. His corners are trash. And
I think I saw you tweet about that like the last game. I think you said either that was trash or his cross. One of them. I think you spoke on it about that, but yeah, it wasn't good. And then the only other shot that we've had was I forgot his name, but the guy, the white guy with the bun or whatever, he did a little bicycle kick behind his head and stuff like that. We tried. So I mean, again, I'm not really mad at the effort, but it definitely does suck that they couldn't get it done for sure.
Yeah, it is what it is. Only thing I'll say before we move on is that Gio Reyna, ridiculous that he was only playing. He played 10 minutes in the first 3 games. If he would have played more, I think they could have maybe possibly went first in the group. They could have won the Wales game, could have won the England game. It is what it is. Moving on, I'm rooting for Brazil now because half and half, Brazil and America. and we'll see what happens there. But let's get back into, we talked about the injuries, Benjamin St. Juste, Cole Holcomb, I mean, he's been out, and then Dax Milne and Trey Turner. Sam Cosmi will be filling in for Trey Turner. I'm interested to see how that works. Sam Cosmi has the talent, and yeah, he has the talent, and he can, I think, be a solid guard. We'll see. He still doesn't have mobility in all his fingers, but I think he can still play. So we'll see. I mean, Reyna has been hurt, but I mean, he even said after the first game when he didn't play, he said he's fully healthy, and I know players say that, but I don't know. I think it's ridiculous. I mean, he only played there's some games he didn't even play.
It was that, yeah, and then I also like I don't know, I didn't hear what you said because I had to go do something, but it definitely, the only reason why to me it sucks like a lot is, I mean, obviously we know like USA isn't the biggest soccer country or sorry, football country, but it's called soccer. Like I know, honestly, we know that we're not the biggest country when it comes to that, but the reason why for me it sucks is because it's like, dang, you gotta wait 4 years just to play again. Like,
yeah.
And again, I think honestly in 2026, Team USA may have a better chance because I mean this squad was very young. I mean, Alex, obviously Crystal Pulisic being the most famous one, and like Tyler Adams, I like some of the solid pieces. But again, we're USA, and I'm not saying USA doesn't have a good soccer players, but like these are other countries where these are their main sports, man. And again, not knocking them for their efforts, but back to football.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, they'll hopefully bounce back. They've got a lot of young guys. Pepe didn't even get on the team, but he'll be 23 next Cup. So
Right.
yeah, they got a lot of good guys, but we'll see what happens there. But
I'm sorry, my fault. Who do you have winning it? Actually, my bad.
I don't know. I mean, I'm rooting for Brazil because I'm half Brazilian, so that's who I'm rooting for. I was rooting for Brazil and US, so I'm biased. I'll say them, but I don't know.
Good? Like, are they good like this year or?
They're ranked number 1. They're the favorites to win, but I don't know.
I definitely, like I said, like I'm not the biggest soccer fan, but like this is the only kind of soccer that I pay attention to, and when I pay attention to it, I learn a lot. And obviously, I know the big names and whatnot, but it's just like when I was watching Argentina versus whoever they were playing, Australia. It's just like it's such a difference when other players are touching the ball opposed to Lionel Messi or Christian. Like it just looks so different. Like it's so easy for them. I mean, the guy literally split a triple team and then nearly had a shot and before it was broken up. They're kind of like the LeBron of soccer. It's just so easy for them. Like it's crazy how easy it is for them.
But yeah, World Cup's been good, and I'm gonna continue to watch it, and I'm sure you'll be talking about it on Top of the Morning, for sure. So Cosmi at guard, your thoughts on that, and then we'll get into some keys to victory and score predictions.
Yeah, Sam Cosmi. I talked about this. Remember, like we drafted Brandon Sheriff to be a tackle. Well, he came out of Iowa being a tackle, but he turned to a guard. And they talking about putting the best 5 out there. That's the reason why he's out here. I believe that to some point, but I also believe it's to see if this could be a long-term thing for Sam Cosmi. And honestly, I'm not opposed to it. He's a solid tackle. But if guard is where he thrives and he can become all-pro guard at some point, and that's what we need the most, I definitely am not opposed to it because Pedro, like, and I know it's just 1 year. Like next year, I hope we draft a guard, but we don't have any athletic guards. Like we don't have anybody that can get out in space and get to the second level on screens or outside runs because they're just unathletic. Maybe Sam Cosmi being the young guy, he can switch to guard and he can be that athletic guy that can pull on screens and outside runs and stuff like that. So I'm interested. Like I really hope this works. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm really interested. I like it, and hopefully it works. And if not, he can just be a tackle. I mean, the guy is definitely a capable starting tackle in this league. So it's a win-win for him, honestly.
Yeah, he's got the potential, and honestly, I think he played well at tackle last year. This year was a little up and down, but honestly didn't play that many games before he got hurt. So still wouldn't mind him playing tackle. Like either one. If he plays tackle, that's fine. If he plays guard, it's fine. I do think he's got the potential to be good. What's up, Hassan? Appreciate you coming through. I'm trying to see. What's up, Jairus, my guy? Make sure you guys check out his channel. D says we lose tomorrow. They don't have a lot of injuries. They only have like 15. I mean, they've had a lot of injuries. But hey, I mean, I would not be surprised if we lose. Spoiler, I do have us winning the game. We'll talk about that in a bit, but it's a tough game. It's at MetLife. And the thing is, with our formula of playing football, against bad teams like the Texans, we can blow them out. But against competitive teams like the Giants and the Falcons, we're not blowing these teams out because our formula is to we just run the ball. We run the ball, and occasionally pass the ball. Occasionally. So our formula is not to, do a 4-play, 70-yard drive. No, ours is a 12-play, 70-yard drive and get a field goal or maybe a touchdown if we're lucky. So we're not going to blow these teams out. That's why maybe we will, but the way we play isn't built to blow teams out. So I don't think we're going to blow the Giants out, but I think we're going to be in position to win no matter what the whole game, unless we get out to a very slow start and are down like 13-0 or 14-0, because then the formula doesn't work. You can't run the ball a ton when you're down a lot. But yeah, Cosme, he's going to be at guard. And then we talked about it, I talked about it earlier. Benjamin St-Juste out. It is what it is with him. We said this last week. It sucks he's out, but if there were any games for him to miss, it's the Falcons and the Giants because their receivers aren't great. Kendall Fuller can lock down Darius Slayton if he plays. He's questionable. He has a little bit of an illness. I think he probably plays. Might not be 100%, but I think Kendall Fuller's got him on lock. And then besides that, they have no one else. So, I think even though Christian Holmes isn't great, he should be able to lock down whoever is up against him, or at least keep him in check. And same thing with Bobby McCain. So I think the injuries, it is what it is. Cole Holcomb will be back at the end of the year, hopefully. And then I feel like Benjamin St-Juste will be back after the bye and will be fine. So keys to victory. What are some of your keys to victory for this game?
Yeah, so key victory number one. I'm going to start with the defense this time. Contain Daniel Jones's legs. I mean, every single time we play this guy, he kills us with his legs every time. And I know he has to be licking his chops considering the fact that he saw what Marcus Mariota was able to do to us last week. Now, again, granted, their offense isn't the kind of offense, Atlanta has, and it's annoying. It's a college-style offense. But he definitely shown capable time after time that he's able to beat us with his legs, and definitely showed that last year. Was it last year we had like that? How many yards? It was a long 60-yard run, maybe like something like that.
Lot, yeah.
Where he tripped and fell, where he should have easily scored. I mean, this guy kills us with his legs. Force him to throw the ball. Force him to make timely throws to these guys like Richie James and their tight end. They don't have anything on that offense really that scares you besides Darius Slayton. So force him to do that. If he beats you with his arm, then you can't really be mad at that. You got to tip your cap, but don't make it easy on him. Don't allow him to beat you with his legs. Contain him, man. Force him to throw. Get some pressure in his face. Daniel Jones has been average this year, but he definitely can beat you. And he's 4-1 against us, so we're the team he performs the best against. We got to change the narrative on that too, by the way. So start number one is contain his legs.
For sure. And next, that's kind of the biggest one on defense is contain Daniel Jones as much as you can because, Marcus Mariota just was running all over our defense last week. I think Daniel Jones can do a little bit of the same thing. So that's kind of what you're going to have to limit on defense and try to, force some turnovers on him. He used to be called Danny Fumbles, not doing it as much, but still, Montez Sweat coming around, I think could knock it loose, hopefully. And same thing with Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen. And, their offensive line isn't great. Andrew Thomas is a very good tackle. He's going to play. Evan Neal's coming back, but Evan Neal isn't that great. But, that's kind of the Juan's key to victory, and that's one of mine that I did yesterday in the video. If you guys want to check that out. Next key to victory, try to I mean, is this the same thing every week? Target Terry McLaurin. Let's see, I think it was Gus. Gus Bus says targeting Terry McLaurin 10 times and continuing to ground and pound shouldn't have to be mutually exclusive. And I agree. You can do both those things. And you can still throw the ball in the second half. And I know they don't want to try to get, they don't want Heineke to get a bunch of turnovers, but it seems like last week they passed to 6 times, or Terry got 5 or 6 targets in the first half, and then after that didn't really get another target. So I mean, they've got to target Terry. They have to target Terry, and if they do, I think good things will happen. You got another one, Juan?
Yeah, another one could definitely be we got to find a way to have a balanced attack. Now, I understand we want to run the ball. I definitely get that, but I feel like this is a week where why not take the top off? I know that's not our style, but look at their cornerbacks. It's Vivian Monroe, Darnell Holmes. It's a bunch of mid lower tier cornerbacks, and not only are they not the best cornerbacks, they are without Dory Jackson, and they're all of their starting cornerbacks for tomorrow is coming in with some sort of injury, whether it's an oblique injury, whatever it is. They're coming in not 100%. So we got to find a way to have success on through the air. I understand Brian Robinson, Antonio Gibson, and Jonathan Williams is what we want to ride on the offense, running the ball and stuff like that, controlling the clock. Get that. Wanting to punish them and win the line of scrimmage. I understand that. But if this is a game where Washington wants to, put up points and actually have a explosive offense, this is the week to do it. You know what I'm saying? I thought the week to do it was versus the Texans. We kind of did that a little bit, but we just wanted to run the ball. This is the week, okay? This is a division opponent. This is a 7-4 Giants team that, although they are derailing, in my opinion, they're still not going to be a walk in the park. They still are really, capable of making a playoff push. They're still ahead of us, so we can't play, scared. We got to go out there and play with our hearts, man, and we got to go out there. And again, like I said, I understand we want to run the ball, control the clock. But go out there, take some shots. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to throw the ball. Taylor Heineke has to be smart, has to make the reads. He has to anticipate better. Last week versus the Falcons, that AJ Terrell, that was almost a pick. That was a bad throw. It was a late throw. If you throw that before Terry turns his back, Terry is catching that pass, okay?
And real quick, a throw with no velocity. He doesn't have arm strength, so Mahomes can afford to throw that late because he's got the arm strength. Taylor Heineke can't.
Right, yeah, and like I said, he needs to play like him old self. Again, I saw people say this. My guy, I hear my guy Louis T says this too. He's like, it kind of feels like Taylor Heineke is he's kind of comfortable in a way, knowing that now he is the starter for the rest of the season. If he doesn't mess up, he kind of is like, okay, he's not gonna be as reckless with his play style because he doesn't want to get hurt and stuff like that. But that's who Taylor Heineke is. He's a guy that we came to love because of the reckless abandon that he plays with, whether it's making the craziest throws or putting his body on the line with the running. It's to a lot of people, and I definitely see it. He doesn't play with that approach anymore because he wants to protect his body, which I'm not mad at, but again, that's what we fell in love with. So that's my next key to victory.
For sure. And what's up, Reggie Reg? Appreciate you coming through. So yeah, I agree with that. And one thing is they struggle against the run, or kind of, if you look at some of the stats, before contact and after contact, and they struggle against play action. So what I think you do, establish the run game early on, and then once they're doing that, maybe on like a 2nd and 2 after you rip an 8-yard run, throw a deep shot to Terry. Play action, deep shot to Terry. Whoever's on him, they're not good enough to guard Terry. He'll cook him, touchdown. Right there, Scott Turner, there's the formula. You do that, we win. But yeah, I think that you can run the ball and keep running, hopefully successfully. And then once you do that enough, they're going to have to put more guys in the box. You do that, they bite on the play action and you throw it to Terry and you will be golden. So that's kind of another key to victory I have for the Commanders. And then besides that, like their defense, their offense, no one really scares me besides maybe Saquon. And even then, our D line has been playing really well and against the rush, run as well. Last week wasn't great, but what does scare me though, and I don't know if it does for you, Juan, is kind of maybe Saquon in the pass catching game because Jamin is going to be the only linebacker there. Cole Holcomb's still out. It's going to be David Mayo and Bostic. I do not want to see Bostic covering Saquon Barkley because I know Saquon's going to beat him, especially if it's an open space. If he catches it, Bostic's not making that tackle. So I don't feel good about that. How about you, Juan?
Yeah, I definitely see that as been a threat. I actually didn't pay much attention to that, but that is true. Getting it out in the flats, especially knowing that they don't have that many wide receivers and threats across the field, they're going to use a lot of Saquon Barkley, whether it's on the ground or through the air. That is definitely something that is concerning because, like you said, we don't have any linebacker to really check him, unless it's Jamin Davis, and if it's John Bostic or David Mayo, that's setting us up for a scary sight that we don't want to see. So I definitely agree with you on that front. I hope we can limit Saquon Barkley, but he's been so good this year, and he looking like he's back to his old self. So it's gonna be hard to contain him, but hopefully we can do it. And I got faith in our defensive line able to do that.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, those are kind of the keys to victory. I mean, we kind of both shared ours, contain Daniel Jones, give it to Terry McLaurin, and have that balance, run the ball, but also do some play action and get Terry McLaurin involved and try to limit Saquon in the passing game. So, what is your prediction, Juan, for this game? What's your score prediction?
So although I'm nervous, you know what I'm saying, I think we'll win, but I kind of have a nervous feeling about it. You know, with all that being said, I think Washington pulls it out 23-18 or 19, one of those. I think Washington they make a late score and the defense makes yet another game saving stop. That's my score prediction. Washington goes 8-5 into the bye, and we're feeling good. And not only are we 8-5, but now we're with the win, the 6th seed. So it's a big game. I'm nervous, but I think that's my score prediction, and I think that's what will happen. More important,
Yeah, I mean,
we'll win.
I've got us at 23-20, pretty similar to you. And honestly, however we do it, like obviously I would love to put 40 on, score 40 points and, beat them by a ton, but it's probably not going to happen. I'll take a win. However we do it, 23-20, 23-20 is my prediction. If we're at 8-5 going to the bye, that is going to feel amazing. And basically just means we've got to win one out of our last four. But going into that Giants game the next week, if we win that, like I went through it on 538, which is kind of a site that does the odds. If we win both Giants games, we have like an 88% chance of making the playoffs, 80 something percent. So like that's huge because the Giants game is more important than like, oh, beating the 49ers because we're competing with the Giants for a spot. I mean, I guess the 49ers, we're competing with them a little bit, but they're probably winning the division. So we probably won't end up competing for them. But we really want the Giants to lose and the Seahawks to lose their games in the future because then we have a good shot to make the playoffs. So one thing I wanted to talk about, we might get into some stat predictions, is kind of Jahan Dotson. Since he came back, I don't really know if it's he hasn't been the same or we haven't been really targeting him or Taylor Heineke hasn't really been targeting him or it's probably honestly a combination of all three. The offense has been run the ball a lot. They only targeted receivers 8 times last week, which is crazy. 8 times, 6 to Terry, 1 to Diami, and then 1 to Jahan, but it was the terrible interception by Heineke. So like, I don't know. I feel like they've got to try to get Jahan a little bit more involved. And I don't think Heineke and Jahan have the same connection that Jahan and Wentz had. But yeah, we'll see what happens with Jahan. But I'm hoping they get him a little bit involved this week.
Yeah, I definitely agree that he hasn't been the same necessarily because of the placing and the quarterback. We want to run the ball a lot, okay, and which is going to not leave a lot of opportunities for guys like Jahan Dotson. Definitely agree that Carson Wentz had the better connection with him, but I also think they're going to make an assertive effort to get him the ball. Anytime Ron Rivera, Scott Turner is asked about a guy all week long, they make the effort to get him the ball. They did it with Terry McLaurin. They did it with Curtis Samuel. I don't see it any different than with Jahan Dotson. I expect Jahan Dotson to have himself a solid day tomorrow. They're going to make an assertive effort to put the ball in his hands, whether it's a quick screen, whether it's a slant, whether it's a go ball or an end around, or if it's a handoff, end around or whatnot. Like I said, whatever jet sweeps. It's gonna be something to get him the ball. I think he'll have one of his better days. But it's definitely crazy because it's like, honestly, Pedro, if he didn't get hurt and he played and he kept going on the trajectory that he was headed on, I think he may be in the front runner of Offensive Rookie of the Year right now. Right now, I don't know who it is, but I assume it's probably someone like maybe I don't know because I don't know who would be in the front runner right now. Kenny Pickett's playing better as of late. Maybe it's the guy in Seattle, that running back.
Kenneth Walker.
Kenneth Walker, yeah.
Or Damian Pierce, one of those guys.
Definitely Brees Hall at some point before he got hurt, and Damian Pierce in Houston. Who has he cooled off since we played him, or is he like back?
Yeah, a little bit. I think because they're down by so much that they can't really run the ball.
Yeah, so I definitely think like there is a chance that he could climb back into this race, but again, if he is like don't not hurt and he actually stays on the trajectory, he may be in front for Offensive Rookie of the Year. But that's my take.
Yeah, and Chris Olave is another one.
Oh yeah,
he's been pretty good, and I think Jahan is your first round pick. You invested a lot in him, like. You might have, a lot of people said you overdrafted him. Get him involved. First round pick. He's a good player. Get him the ball. You don't just have to run it. You can pass the ball a little bit to do some screens. And real quick, got 97 people in here. I know at least one of you guys is not subscribed to me and Juan. So make sure you guys hit that sub button. Now we got 100 people. So whoever just joined, sub up to us. It takes literally 1 second. You won't regret it. And I'm trying to get to 10K. Juan's trying to get to 5K. Click. I know Brian put his link in the chat earlier. Also, you just hit the name on the title, and it'll take you to his channel. So make sure you guys sub up to both of us. But I'm trying to think what was I about to say. We talked about Jahan. I think also Christian Watson's another guy that's been playing.
You were saying that he's your first round pick, so you got to make like an assertive effort to get him the ball.
Yeah, you have to get him the ball for sure. Running the ball is great, but at the same time, get the ball to those guys for sure. And one thing, this is what I was gonna say. The Giants struggle with run plays that come off of motion. So Curtis Samuel, I feel like could have a big day rushing. Like I could see 30+ rushing yards for Curtis Samuel this week. I really could. And honestly, Scott Turner's not been good this year, or definitely not been great. But one thing that I do like that he's done is those kind of end arounds where Curtis is always in motion on those snaps, and sometimes he gets the ball and runs for 2 to 5 yards for first, and other times he doesn't. So it keeps the defenses guessing, and it's just another thing that they have to worry about. So I really like, how Scott Turner does that. Other things, we could definitely see better from Scott, but in that aspect, I think he does a good job with that.
Yeah, I mean the motion and stuff like that is cool, and it definitely does do a good job in it. But more importantly, we have to capitalize in the red zone. The Giants is probably one of the best teams when it comes to red zone defenses. So we definitely got to capitalize in that aspect of things. So if we want to win this game, so that's what I'm more focused on. If it's second down, Pedro, you already know what's coming. I literally call it out every time in my stream. Every second down what Scott Turner's going to do, which frustrates me because he acts like it's a crime to pass the ball 2 times in a row. It is not. I'm yet to see him call a good 4-quarter game. And I really hope at some point we can see it from him. Just whatever's working, don't go away from it, man. So I definitely hope he's better. I'm done with him though. I would love to get a new offensive coordinator next year, but I already know it's not going to happen. But yeah, I definitely am looking forward to seeing if he can at some point call a full 4-quarter game.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm trying to think. We kind of went through the preview, keys to victory, injuries, score prediction. I guess we could do a couple stats. I mean, it's kind of tough with this team just because they run the ball so much. Quick stat prediction with Heineke. I'll go. I don't know if I'll do passes, but I'm gonna say 210 passing yards. I said 23 points, which is what, 2 touchdowns and 3 field goals. So I'll say 1 touchdown and 1 interception.
Yeah, I'll say 205. 23 for 20, 19 for 27, 205, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Hopefully that one he has to get that 1 pick scenario. I hope that's not that comes to an end and that doesn't happen tomorrow. He plays a clean game, but knowing Taylor Heineke, at some point he's going to make a terrible throw. Hopefully, if it does happen, it gets out the way early. But again, what I'm hoping for more than that is that that's not a real thing and that he can cease that tomorrow and play a clean game. But 205, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick for Taylor Heineke.
Yeah, that interception. It better not come at the end of the game when we need, to score or to just get out of the way early if it happens, or be a Hail Mary at the end of the half. I'm fine with that. But like what happened last time was just unacceptable because we could have scored a field goal. Like if he hits Curtis Samuel on the flat there, we're like 5 to 10 yards out of field goal range. And instead, they had a chance to score a field goal, to kick a field goal, and they missed it, thankfully, because if that didn't happen, they could have tied it. They could have tied it at the end of the game. So just the picks by Heineke, it's gotta get better. Hopefully, it does work this week. Offensive line, like they've got to hold up. The Giants have some solid guys with Kayvon Thibodeau. They have Azeez Ojulari, Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence. Like that's a solid D line. That's a solid D line for sure. So Charles Leno, he's got to play like he's been. Lucas, he's got to step up a little bit. He's had some good games, but there's been times where he's gotten beat a ton. And then interior offensive line, just keep doing what you're doing. Cosme is going to be interesting to see him at guard, and then Larson. I think his blocking. I mean, it's hard to tell without actually going in and watching every play after the game in terms of film, but Larson's got to be a little bit better in his snaps. I see way too many high snaps from Tyler Larson, so that has to improve from him. So Heineke isn't just jumping up. I mean, we saw 2 in a row, one against the Eagles where it went like 20 yards past Heineke, and that could have lost us the game. And then against the Texans, similar thing happened. And then last week, it didn't really it wasn't like over his head, but there was some high ones for sure. So hopefully it doesn't happen this week against the New York Giants. I mean, this is the biggest game of the year. Do you agree, Juan?
Say it one more time.
This is the biggest game of the year, right?
Yes, I definitely think so. Because we have a chance to not only, again, like I said, go to 8-5, but we have a chance to go to the 6th seed, and it would put us in a predicament to face the team. Again, the playoffs don't start tomorrow, but I'm just saying if things were to stay the same at the end of the season, it would put us in a predicament to where we have to face the 49ers. And that's part of this team that's the second team I'm most scared to face in the first round. But if we get a crack at them later in the season, so they're not too scary. We don't know that yet, but I definitely think this is the biggest game to this point. It's a lot riding on it. Not only again 6th seed or 8-5, but another division win is up for it. So we definitely have to be ready, and I definitely think it's a big game. He said, Lance says, "Pay attention, Juan." I am paying attention, Lance. I apologize for my actions, but I was doing something over here Thank you very much. But I'm locked in, Lance. Okay, I don't get on me anymore. I apologize for my actions. But yeah, big game.
Yeah, and we'll see how everyone plays. Big game. You win these two, and we're chilling. The last 3 weeks, basically, we're chilling in terms of we're pretty much in the playoffs. Obviously, it would be amazing to get double-digit wins. Like, I'm not lying. Like,
yeah,
it's been too long since we had double-digit wins. 2012. Like, that's 10 years. Like we got to do it. I'm hoping this is the year we get to double-digit wins. I really, really hope it is. But if we make the playoffs, hey, to me, if we make the playoffs, that's a success.
right.
And then I think matchups that are good would be the not 49ers, the Vikings or the Bucks. I know it's like, oh, you want to play Tom Brady. Well, Heineke is kind of, does play well against Tom Brady, and the Bucks aren't as good as they usually are. So either the Bucks or the Vikings, either one of those teams are the preferred teams we play. We're not going to play the Eagles more likely than not because they're going to be the first seed. Don't really want to play the Cowboys and do not want to play the 49ers. Those are the kind of the three teams I don't want to play. I'll play the Vikings. I'll definitely play the Vikings or the Bucks. Those are kind of the teams I would rather play.
Yeah, Lance says nothing but love one. Yeah, I know you're just joking. I was just joking too, obviously, as you can tell. But I know my guy Lance. Yeah, definitely. I disagree with the Bucks. To me, that's the team that I'm most scared to face because I understand the Bucks have been kind of bad this year, but Brady's like, hey, I just went in. I don't care what my record is. Just get me in the playoffs. And if Brady gets in the playoffs, that's the team that I'm most scared to face. The team that I want to face the most, Minnesota, because we owe them one. We definitely had them on the ropes. So that's the team I want to face the most. The second team probably would be the Eagles. And then the Cowboys, then the Cowboys, then the Bucks, and then the 49ers is the team that I'm most scared to face. But yeah, I definitely would rather take my chances with Minnesota or Philly, opposed to the Buccaneers. Honestly.
Yeah, I think the thing is the Bucks. Why I don't really scared by them is like we beat them last year. Heineke just is good against Brady. He rises up to the occasion. I think we will be able to beat them. But I do get your point. Like it is Brady in the playoffs, and Gus says once we lose a close game with a toothless offense, the players won't be as behind Heineke as much. And he also said that after his first loss, then Wentz is going to come back. I disagree with that because one game, even if it's one loss, if Heineke plays poorly, I don't think that's going to be enough to lose him his job. I think it's going to have to be 2 losses in a row or 2 out of 3 to have Heineke, and this is 2 out of the next 3, right? For Heineke to lose his job because what is he 5-1 for the Commanders? No, 5-1 for the Commanders as a starter. Like one game, even though he hasn't been the reason they've won a lot of these games, one game isn't going to erase everything that the team did with him. So I just don't think that you need to bench Heineke after one poor performance with a loss. I think if it happens twice or 2 out of 3 games, okay. But just one, I don't think the players are going to be really that upset after one bad game and be like, oh, we need to get Heineke out of here. No, that they love the guy. And I think it'll take more than just one game. What do you think, Juan?
Yeah, I definitely think honestly it's tough because we know they really want Carson Wentz to be back out there. So us fans probably will be like, yeah, he deserves at least one more game for pulling him. But I still think his lease is short because they want to put Carson Wentz back out there at some point. But then again, they're saying that they would have done that if he actually no, they wouldn't have because he wasn't healthy. But I definitely think if it was up to me, I would give him more than one game. But considering the fact of how late it is in the season, how close we are, how good of a chance we have for a playoff berth, if anything goes wrong, they're not going to hesitate to put Carson Wentz back in there.
Yeah, and I think he's honestly he's healthy enough to play right now, but they're kind of waiting a bit. And I also believe he's sick He's sick this week, so they didn't activate him. It is what it is. So, any other thing that we need to talk about for this game? Anything around the NFL you want to talk about, and any guy, and also any questions you guys have in the chat, go ahead and ask.
No, not anything else that I have to necessarily talk about the NFL. I mean, we could try to do, we could do the Wordle if you wanted to try that, but there's nothing really else to cover as far as this game. Maybe break down the playoff scenarios or something like that for the NFC.
Yeah, I mean, playoff scenario, it's simple. We win these next 2 games, we're basically in. It's not guaranteed. If we win 10 games, guaranteed in. And that's what I want. I want to go into week 18 with, hey, we're in the playoffs. We're just, playing. We're playing for nothing. Like that's what I want. I want no stress going into week 18. Like obviously, it would be crazy if it's a win and get in against Dallas and we win that game to get in the playoffs. Like the feeling would be great, but also the feeling if we lose that game would be worse. So I don't want that to happen. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for today's stream. Really appreciate you for coming on, Juan. Appreciate everyone in the chat: Lance, Gary, Gus, Darlene, Shadow Pop. Let's see, any other guy. Everyone who's come through. Redskin 007. All you guys, appreciate you. Make sure you guys sub up to both of us. And tomorrow, going to be streaming on Rio's channel. So make sure you guys pull up to that.
Yeah, definitely pull up to that. We'll be around there doing the pregame show, and as you guys know, I'll be doing the live play-by-play as I do for every game. So hopefully we can win this game. Hopefully we can go to 8-5 into the bye week, and definitely excited. And definitely will be obviously rooting on our Washington Commanders. So let's go.
Last question from Stefan says, would Heineke stay next year if we won 2 playoff games with Heineke? He's staying. I mean, we haven't won a playoff game since 2005. If we win 2 playoff games, he's guaranteed here next year.
Yeah, I mean,
at the minimum as a backup.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think either if we don't make it to the playoffs, knock on wood, or win a game with him, he'll be here as a backup. There's no way. He's the best backup in football, in my opinion. There's no way you don't have him on your roster at least as a backup. But if he goes on to not only lead us to the playoffs, but win us 2 playoff games, you'll have to start him next year. I'm not saying you don't go out and draft you a guy or go out and see if Howell is the answer at some point in the future. But if Heineke leads you to 2 playoff victories, God, let it be a Super Bowl victory. I hope that would be like crazy. I know I'm talking crazy, but that's what I dream of, man. I want a Super Bowl. If it's anything along those lines, he has to start. Like he has to next year, right? So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, sometimes I literally have a dream of the Commanders winning a Super Bowl, and then I wake up. Those are the worst dreams. You wake up and it's like, oh my gosh.
Right.
We're 1-4. Like that's the type of dream I'll have when we're 1-4. All right, man. Appreciate you coming on. That's it for today's stream. Make sure you guys check out Juan. Make sure you guys sub to me as well. And yeah, let's get this dub tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow in 24 hours from now, we're sitting watching, or a little over 24 hours from now, we're watching Sunday Night Football as an 8-5 team. Peace, guys.
Yeah, hopefully, man. Peace.